I'll be your guide. It's going to be my honor to take you down into the world's longest cave. And my partners, Jenny or someone will make the final call and clear out the ticket office. And then we'll head down to the historic entrance. And when we get to the historic entrance, folks, I'm going to get the safety stuff out of the way as quickly as possible. I promise you. I want to get the cave just like you do. I hate just standing around and go all over this safety stuff. So we'll get it out of the way very quickly. But just to let everybody here know, first of all, once we leave this area, no eating, drinking, smoking, use of tobacco products of any type. If you have water, take that in the cave. That's what made the cave. Just bring that out along with any other trash. On this tour today, we're going to be seeing a lot of graffiti. Boy, we're going to see a lot of graffiti. And we'll talk a little bit about why we'll see that later on. But just about all of that was done before 1941 when this became a national park. In fact, there's a great deal of it in there, a lot of candle writing that was done before the Civil War that we're going to see as well. So once upon a time, the owners of the cave didn't really care what they did down there. But now that it's owned by all of us and it's part of the Park Service, I know that nobody's going to be marking on the walls, taking out any souvenirs. I know it's also tempting a lot of times when people are in the cave. They love to rub their hands up against the walls, the ceilings. Whenever possible, please don't do that. You see, our hands have oil and acids in them. And if we do that enough, all it does is just shine up those rocks, make them real greasy. Now, when you go through Fat Man's Misery, you're going to notice, and we understand you're going to have to touch the rocks on Fat Man's Misery. There's no doubt about it because it's so narrow through there. But you're going to notice how shiny, how greasy those rocks feel from millions of people rubbing their hands up against it. We just don't want the whole cave to be like that. Otherwise, the tour itself, if you have trouble walking 2 miles above ground, guess what? You're going to have trouble walking 2 miles below ground. We're going to be doing a good bit of elevation change. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and I mean this sincerely. To me, the toughest part of the tour will be coming back up that hill when we get through, okay? But, you know, we're going to be in wide passageways. We're going to be in tight passageways. If anyone has, like, claustrophobia, think about that. Because we're going to go through an area called Fat Man's Misery, which is about this wide at your hips for about 236 feet. Now, I'm not worried about anyone physically doing it. But sometimes people have a little problem mentally doing this. So if you do, just something to think about. You can spread your arms out like this, but it will be that tight at your hips. As soon as we get out of Fat Man's Misery, we will go into Tall Man's Misery. And we're going to walk like this for about 20 feet or so. Oh, gosh. You got any back problems? Oh, gosh. Please think about that as well. Eventually, folks, we're going to come out near the bottom of Mammoth Dome. It's extremely impressive. About 192 feet top to bottom. It was discovered in November of 1840 by a slave guy by the name of Stephen Bishop, who I guess next to me is the most famous tour guide there's ever been at Mammoth Cave. And he said that was his greatest discovery. You're going to understand why when you see it. But understand, we're going to be near the bottom of it, and we've got to get to the top of it. And we're going to have to go up 155 steps, 104 of which is a fire tower, pretty much at the same time. So if you have a problem with, taking a lot of steps, think about that as well. Also, if you have a problem with heights, because as we're walking up Mammoth Dome, you'll be able to look well below you. So, I'm not trying to scare anybody off the tour. You understand that. But you need to know about this stuff before you get into the cave as opposed to afterwards when it does absolutely no good. I'm tired of talking right now. Any questions about any of that? Good. It's good to get this stuff out of the way now. We should be getting the final call out of the way very quickly, and then I'm going to go over something very important. It's going to sound scary, but it's not. But I have to do that before we head down to the mouth of the cave. Anybody ever been here before? Good. Anybody ever done this tour before? Good. All right. Well, hopefully you'll hear something different this time than maybe you did last time. All right, we should be.